Hello and welcome to Michelle Holden Art, and I'm Michelle Holden, and this is the channel where we learn to follow our intuition, and I've sort of called it an intuitive layering process. So this intuitive art journaling practice is all about process, and I had a subscriber ask me a while ago, well, how do you use this process in journals and then take it to larger work? Well, I'm going to start a brand new Canson watercolor 140-pound sketchbook, or watercolor book, I should say. And I'm going to start just that. I have been mulling around these ideas, and I think I want to use this journal for this purpose. So, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is where we discover our own true art, one layer at a time. And today, please stay to the end. And I have not pre-done this. I've only thought about this, so I'm just practicing following my intuition so I can show you how it works, how I do it, and it might work for you. So what I'm aiming for is not so much even an abstract visual like all of my other pages before. I want to use repetition. I want it to remain very flat, but again with some depths with the layers, subtlety, and I'm not even sure I'm going to use any stamping of my circles that I love. I just want to do something different. So it is still a building of layers. I have some collage here that I've selected, and I'm just doing blue. I'm using Turquoise Liquitex Basic Fluid, and I'm also using the light blue permanent, of course the white and the black of the same type of paint. And I might even get into this. Oh, this one's Mars Black. This one is the iridescent graphite, which is dark, but it has that iridescence in it. And of course a spray bottle, some resisting tools, because I think that might work, but I'm not sure. And I'm going to use the collage in a very all over. So this is going to be an all over composition. I think I'm going to start with marks, and I'm going to go dark to light with the layering. And I think I want the bottom to go dark to light up. I'm not sure, but that's my intention today. And if you're new here, as I've said in the comments below the video, if you want your free intuitive art journaling prompts, here they are here. You can get them free as a download. And also, I love to use my intuitive art journaling reflections PDF after I do a few pages, or even every page. So I don't always do it, but it's really good, and I've regretted not doing it when I wanted to remember what I did, or what feeling or anything that I wanted to continue with. So let's get to this page. So I'm going to I want to do this pencil work. I'm thinking horizontal. It may show, I may be covered all up. I don't really know at this point. I'm going to use this white China marker as well. I'm not going to see what it's going to do, but I know it's going to cause some resist. I'm also using my color shakers. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to start with, I better bring my palette over so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the turquoise, the light blue, and this is the gloss medium, where I put on the page first and I tape it off just because I want to see how this might look in a finished, the crisp edge around it. And then of course, what I'm doing is playing with different types of layers and either visual textures or physical textures. I'm not sure. I'm really not worried about texture on this page, but I am going to use a white pastel because it's softer. And I think I won't even see these until I lay in my first layer. And this isn't going to be a finished art journaling page like all the rest of my pages on my channel. This is just purely experimental. And that's what I'm going to dedicate this whole entire journal to. So you might want to do the same. Do you have different journals for different purposes? What do you do? Please leave a comment below. And please stay tuned. My course, I'm almost finished. I just have a few things to go, a few videos to just edit, and it will be out very soon. I know it feels like I've been saying this for a while, but it sure took a lot longer than I thought. It's my first one, so. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to spray the page. And then I'm going to start with a dark. This is the turquoise. I want to mix it a bit. I don't want to go too dark. And I want to add a little white. Just something's telling me to add a little white. And I don't want it perfectly even. I want it to be loving that. Hang on. You might also just want to use a piece of newsprint just to put down, depending on how much paint you're using, of course, just so it doesn't keeps that page underneath nice and clean. So I did add the medium, the gloss medium, to the edge of the tape, just to prevent any bleeding. And you see this, how it's gone. That's okay. It might really create a cool effect, but I want to spray that because I want to lift it, and I'm going to lift it with my color shaper. So this is all part of the mark making. Just these types of tools, you start learning what they can do, what they can't do, and it comes into play in every aspect of your art, intuitive art journaling. So I'm not liking I'm trying to get rid of the line. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to my brayer just because it's a much better lifting tool. So I'm thinking I'm going to spray a little more water. And this is paper, so it's not going to react. So being aware of that, the same as a canvas or a wood panel. Once it's in, it's in. So I think I want to go with those drips. So I'm putting a lot, I'm really pushing the envelope here, but it is 140 pound, and I do want drips. Okay. I'll just clean up the edge here. I'm so glad I put that paper down. Oh. So you see what the clear gel does? It leaves the paper not absorbing the edge. So that's sort of the downfall of doing that. So sometimes I won't even do that because I know it'll create, well, a resist. And maybe, knowing that, I may use the gloss medium in the beginning layers if I want a resist like this. So you see, making a mistake, a discovery, and now I know that I can use that to my advantage the next time. So I'm just going to dry this now. Okay. So I know you can just very barely see the pencil under there, and that's okay. So now I want to come in a little darker, and I think I want the dark up at the top coming down. And what I'm using here, which you can't see, and I might take a picture of, I have a great big abstract that I created, and it's hung up in my studio here. And there's a section of it that really needs to become a painting. And I've been looking at it, and it has pieces of collage, this sort of an atmospheric flat, and they're floating, this feeling. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish. That's my intention. So there will be parts of this that I like, parts of it that I don't like. So who knows? So I'm going to add a little black to, I noticed that the black on the painting that I am getting my idea from is a lot cooler. So I think using a Payne's gray, putting in, you see, this is very warm. This isn't going to have that same feeling. So let's see. Using your cooler blues. Let's add I could add some cerulean or some ultramarine blue, which is pretty powerful, and it won't need much. I'll put it out anyway. I don't know if I'll like it, but it doesn't matter because this is just an exploratory page. So if any of you, of course, this channel is all about abstract. I used to be a representational painter, watercolor, and it just didn't feel right anymore. It didn't feel aligned. It didn't light my soul. And I know that I've always wanted to explore abstract. So that's what I'm doing. Never knew where to start, where to go, all of those things. Was very unsure. And so I discovered mixed media, and just continued on my way and then started this intuitive process. And this is why I'm here today. So I don't know if I'm going to like this blue, but it is going to be a dark. So let's just do it. Okay. And the brayer just sort of smooths it out. And I'm not going to worry about that edge. I'll just know not to do that next time. So I'm going to dry this layer. So after a little cleanup here, because things got way too messy and there was too much paint and it was falling down the crack, I really wrapped up my journal this time. And if I need to, I'll take out that page, or maybe I won't even worry about it. So what I believe is happening here is that these are too medium. The values are too close together. And to create that feeling that I was talking about earlier, I need a really dark and then come on top with a light layer. And again, this is all about your sequencing of your layers and what you learn as you go. So I've got some golden Payne's gray here that is in that painting that I wanted to. Now this is pure Payne's gray. I'm going to add a little bit of black. And I'm just going to skim across. I don't want it to be exact. But now this is the feeling. And I realized it needs to be just that dark atmosphere. Oh, I love this shadow effect with this really, and again, remembering that Payne's gray is a very translucent blue. It's beautiful, actually. One of my favorites. I haven't been using it a lot lately. Okay, so let's see if I spritz it just a little. There we go. And you see it's the brayer going this way that's causing all of that, but now it's pretty much protected. And that is so I wouldn't have known that at all. That's the pastel underneath that the brayer is lifting the paint off from those little sections. And I wanted that atmosphere, or that feeling. I just have paper towel here, just off camera, and I just put my brayer right there, upside down. And I think I'll just clean this edge without. See, now I'm loving those blues. So I'll just dry this, and it's dark enough with that effect. I'm going to put in another layer of pastel. I love Payne's gray for its very translucent and cool blue. I think I need to go buy a whole big batch of Payne's gray. How about you? Is it one of your favorite darks? Okay, so now that we have that, I think those might work. So we're going to tear them. It might be too soon for them. This might be too big. I might not like them torn, I may cut them. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to. I might leave one torn edge. And I want a couple of different blues. That works. This was made on the jelly plate with the catalyst wedge. I think it needs to be just a little smaller. So we're going for differences here. So I can go long. I think I want to keep them. I can go. And I'm just going to cut some. And I'm just going to use the ones that work. Definitely need some more of these. So I don't like those at all. I think I just want to use these because they have that purpley blue thing going on. And I don't want the torn edge showing. Okay, so I'm going to use those, not quite yet, but those are the pieces that I want. So I want to come through with a bit of a light blue now. Yes, is it light enough? Maybe. We'll start with this. And I love the textures that the color shaper can make. There. Okay, I'm just going to dry that. Very cool. Okay. Whoops. So I just wanted to add a little white to some of the Payne's gray, just to see, or Payne's gray to white, whatever. Yes. And I am going to use a stamping tool. Which one? Let's just see what this would look like. So I don't want circles, I want dots. Just hang on, I just want to do some more with the pastel. Some dashes. I know it's sort of like water, but with me, as soon as it starts looking like something, then I like to re-abstract it again. I want to maintain that ambiguity of the abstraction to the feeling. So I want to stay away from anything recognizable. I just want it to feel a certain way. Now, Let's just see. I don't know if that's working or going against it. I don't know yet. Okay. So I'm just looking for a stamping tool. I don't know if my line applicator is going to work for my dots. Let's just test it out. I think I will add just a little bit of that pink. I could even, you could also use, test out the big Posca marker now. I'm loving these because they're not as solid and they're larger. So I'll just do a few rows of these. Now the dots with the line applicator will take a lot longer to dry. And notice when you spread them out more, I think I want to change that as I go up. Like is the thought of it being a lot darker up on the top. But still, so it's more blue. So I think I want a little more black. And I don't want it totally solid. I just want to play. And notice it's more of a wash, because I don't want it to cover up the previous layer. Let's see if I just did a couple of drips, what would happen? Okay, I'm liking that a lot. One over there. Okay, so I just need to I'm going to dry this now. Okay, so just to speed things up, I'm just going to dab what's left. That was just a little bit, that's great. Okay, so now so if any of you are interested in this kind of, your own true art, and of course I've done a lot of research, everywhere. And when you're first starting out, of course you're going to sort of emulate other artists. But then eventually the goal is to, or become inspired by parts or elements of their art. It's so good to learn to discover your own. See, this doesn't accentuate the floating feeling, but when I lift it up just there, I'm debating. Right there. Isn't that just so interesting how that little bit of difference makes? Oh, there it is. Nope. Had to go this way. Okay. So I'm going to just cover them This is a heavy gloss. Where are we here? There it is. Super heavy gel, gloss gel. Okay. Oop. So with my lights, I don't know if it's reflecting. Oh, it's not reflecting in the camera. Okay. So there's that. Now, do I need to take it one step further? I'm loving, oh, yes, I want to see, and I'm not going to do the whole row. I want to see how, I want the light and that luminosity in certain areas. I have to be careful I don't put my hand over those. But if I put this dot inside of that dot, what will happen? It doesn't create that illusionary light, but that's what I'm after. So I'm going to, maybe in my next page, experiment with that. So I'm just going to create sort of an overlapping of these two different types of dots on this page, which is really cool. I don't think I want to touch it. The only thing I want to do is use the dark blue Posca marker, and I think that's just my dog. He sees someone. I don't want to make too many. Now, I don't know if these will show up. It's okay, Dexter. Okay. So, let's dry this and then peel the tape for the reveal. So, there's this rising, which I love. There's so much symbolism in that. And I like overlapping. So I need to see now all of a sudden it brings that layer in front of those rectangles. So then you've got this going on, this interplay. It's so, I just love this. I could geek out on this stuff. What can you geek out on? So I'm going to put some of these down here because now it's sort of as above, so below kind of stuff. All sorts, different sizes here. I love this. Okay. I need to get, now I may have overdone it, but you know, you can always just add a glaze and maybe push that layer back, the dots in the dark section. So I think I'm going to stop. One more drawing, and then let's reveal. So a little bit of bleeding, but that's okay. As long as it's not too much. It did bleed through there. Oh. We've got a problem. Okay, so good. So what I usually do is I get a super clean brush, making sure it's slightly damp, and I just put that in. And those heavy dots, they have a really nice texture. They're really thick. This I can probably rub because I already put a layer. Let's see. Nice. So some of it came off. So that protected that area. Nice. This one did get the heavy dose. Oops. So scoring through your edges with your X-Acto knife, sometimes, oh, I don't need to do that. Even with paint, it's necessary. So, okay, it's a very narrow piece. I'll just So I tore that a little bit. So this is how you can explore an idea, an abstract series, and use a journal to explore those. My next would be exploring different types of blues that work best together. And I do want this to be blue. I'm loving this. So then I would make specific collage. This was a solid, just with a brayer spattered. What textures would work? What other tools do I want to make my dot? So I want to explore my dot series. And it's my way, and I hope you enjoyed this video today, of exploring your abstract painting ideas, your series, and happy creating, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, join my email list, and be first to know when my course comes out and all the other new things. So, happy creating.